This is an SM Media production. Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the horse racing show right here on SM Media. I'm Scott McPike, delighted to be your host as always. A pleasure to be here. Joined as always by Calum McClurkin from Scottish Daily Mail. Calum, it's been a very, very busy couple of weeks, but we are about to experience Royal Ascot.
Yeah, Derby and the Oaks are out the way, so Royal Ascot's the next big flat meeting on the agenda.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be top a busy week of sport, but obviously, as always, what we do is we talk about we've got some questions from some of the viewers. First of all, who do we think is going to be top jockey?
Frankie Dettori's the man around Ascot, isn't he? He's got rides for Wesley Ward, the American trainers, Ian O'Brien as well, and John Gosden targets this meeting relatively successfully, even though he's had quite a quiet season. So, yeah, I think Frankie's the man. They all have to beat this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go either Frankie or Ryan Moore. I do think Frankie's got a lot of good rides. I think today he could have at least 3 winners if everything goes right for him. But again, you can't rule out Frankie Dettori at Royal Ascot, can you?
Yeah, it's a scene of his Magnificent Seven, wasn't it? He's been close to the clean sweep before at Royal Ascot, so there's bound to be one day where he will completely dominate and maybe get at least 3 or 4. Could be today.
Definitely. Next question: has Princess Zoe got a chance in the Gold Cup?
For me, no. 2 runs this season have been poor, and I also think she needs it a lot softer than what we're getting this week as well to have a chance.
Yeah, I think she's probably just ground's going to be against her. But just before we move on to the next question, do we think Princess Zoe could go hurdling next year?
Tony Mullins has always said that she's too valuable, isn't she, for running that risk. They might. I think it all hinges about getting soft ground at Longchamp in France, and once those restrictions kind of ease, it's been a bit harder for the smaller Irish trainers to get over there and have some prize money. So yeah, I think she's an autumn horse anyway. She needs it soft, so hopefully she'll come into some form, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, definitely. Final question: what is the best non-UK and Irish chance this week? I am going to leave that to you. I'm just looking at one here that's kind of getting all the right noises. Coffee Maker for Wesley Ward and John Velasquez in the second today. All talk is she could be special, but what do you think?
The thing about Coffee Maker is, if you've seen her work in the Gallop, she's an absolute monster. I think she dwarfed most four-year-old colts over here. It's that extra furlong, isn't it, of 6, the American Wesley Ward horses. You think they're all speed. Is that stiff 6 going to find it out maybe in the last 150 yards? The one that I think is Twilight Gleaming in tomorrow's Queen Mary.
Right.
She's quite a warm order. John Velasquez is riding that. It's drawn on the far side, so I don't know if that's going to be positive or negative, but I'll certainly try and make all. It is the race that Wesley Ward wins quite frequently, and it's normally a big top target. And Ruffin as well in the Windsor Castle was almost going to go to the Queen Mary because of the same ownership. They've decided to split them up. I think Twilight Gleaming's about 11-4. And Ruthin's about the same price. So, I think that double will certainly not be far away on Wednesday.
Brilliant. We'll move into, we're going to go through each day. We're going to look at all the big races, and we're going to make other predictions for the other big races of day one. So we'll start with the first day of Royal Ascot, which is going to be today. Hopefully we'll get this out before the first race. And it's going to be the Queen Anne Stakes. And we have a really short price favourite in the Lockins winner. The best 1 miler in training, Palace Pier, 2-5. Calum, is Palace Pier unbeatable in this race?
The market says that he is. Again, he's not a price that you want to wade in with. He's the shortest price all week, and it's the first race, so you'd be a bit hesitant slightly to dive in. Also a bit worried because this is the quickest crown that he's going to be racing on all his career, and there has been. He was very good in the Lockins and showed that he does have a turn of foot to win a race over a mile as easily as he can. There is suspicion that he wants a bit of a trip potentially here. I think it's a watch and brief race. I think hopefully see him win. He's too short for me to back. I think we'll try and all go slow. I don't think there's a lot of pace in the race. I think we'll try and slow and turn it into a sprint and try and beat him that way. And at the prices, Pogo at 100 to 1, if it does develop into that, is worth a small each way bet. He didn't fire in the lock-ins, but the ground was too soft. But he does like it rattling quick, and he is a front runner. And it's not a lot of pace in this race. So if he does get a freebie, he can poach a little bit of a lead here and quicken at the right moment. Everything needs to go right, obviously. And there's classy horses in behind, but he could snatch third at like 100 to 1 or something. And it's worth a small each way bet for me.
Yeah, I think Palace Pier will win. There's two horses I like the look of, and maybe an each way alternative. Lope Y Fernandez was good at Leopardstown, but I think the slower ground in the lockage didn't go for him, so I think this could be a better option for him. Top Rank's an interesting one. Was obviously third in the lockage, but he looks as if he's open to a lot of progression.
He's consistent. He also likes the race quite prominently as well. He's good for James Tate. The yard are coming into a bit better form as well than they did in the lock-in. So, yeah, each way he's not without a chance. Prince EJ likes rattling quick ground. He also stays further, so he's not completely out of it. And Lord Glitters will improve for his effort in the lock-ins. He likes Royal Ascot. He's won the race before as well, so he wouldn't put anyone off backing him each way either. So there's options. Order of Australia won the Breeders' Cup Mile, which is really high class form as well. And so, yeah, I mean, there are dangers here to Palace Pier if he doesn't fire on the ground.
Yeah, so we're going for Palace Pier to win, and you've got Pogo each way.
Yeah, just a small outside chance.
Brilliant. We'll move on to the 340, the King Stand Stakes, the second Group 1 of the day. We are going to see the return of the best sprinter in training, Battaash. 13 to 8. My worry with Battaash is, I know he's a superstar. If he's on his day, he'll win this race. But are you worried about the prep he's had?
Yeah, it's had a setback, isn't he? It's a bit of a race against time to get him here. They seem to have done it relatively comfortably enough as well. With sprinters, I wouldn't be too concerned by it. He's done it before, and he's got a good record fresh as well. It's just Ascot's where it's just a bit further to get. It's a really stiff finish, and if he is a bit too fresh and a bit too keen, although last year he was maturing and learning to race, he wasn't really blitzing off and making all. He did take a lead. I just wonder if he's going to be too fresh and something comes and calls him in the line or something like that. That's the doubt. I wouldn't be worried about the lead back too much. I'm pretty sure he'd retain his ability. If he does, he should probably win.
Yeah. I hope he wins because I think the horse is a superstar. But I've got a wee alternative in Oxted for Roger Teal. Really good 6 furlong sprinter last season. Could he be better over 5 furlong? Could we see a bit of improvement out of him? Yeah,
the stiff 5 is. There's no harm in certainly proving that he can stay 6 as well. And better ground will suit. He's just been underwhelming a little bit this season. You want to see maybe a bit more form. I think I quite like the American Raider, Extravagant Kid in this.
Yeah, Tory again.
He stays 6 furlongs, and he likes to come fast and late. And
he won the Maidan, didn't he?
That might suit. He won the sprint in Maidan.
Yeah.
Quite convincingly. He is an 8-year-old though, and he's been freshened up for this, so he does need to improve. He's around 6 to 1. I think he's got a decent chance.
So that's your each way alternative?
Yeah, I'm going to back Extravagant Kid.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Oxted, but I would like to see Battaash win. Third Group 1 of the day is the St James's Palace and at 4:20. It's a pretty open race. It looks a really good race here. We've got Poetic Flair 7 to 2, Shindits 5 to 1, been gambled in remarkably this morning. Lucky Vega 6 to 1, Battleground 13 to 2, Highland Avenue 15 to 2, Mostadef at 8 to 1, Thunder Moon 8 to 1, 18 to 1 bar. This does look a really open race.
It does, full of Guineas form lines as well. It's the 3-year-old highlight of the meeting. It's a very good race. Barney Roy won it for Richard Hannon. The Roll of Honour is very impressive. Palace Pier, of course. They're all with a chance. Poetic Flair's a right favourite, based on his 2 Guineas efforts in Ireland and England. I don't think a round track fun ground is that suitable for it. He's maybe better a straighter track. So I'm inclined to forgive Thunder Moon's effort to Guineas, although he was quite small. But I think better ground. Joseph O'Brien's horse is having a lot better form now. And if you throw out that Newmarket run, his 2-year-old form is probably about the best there is around. And St Mark's Basilica has proved that it's not bad either, with him winning everything in France at the moment. Yeah. So I think 8-1 him each way. There's a lot of bookies going 4 or 5 places. I think if he bounces back to form, he's certainly in the frame. Mossadegh as well is the other one I like, the listed winner. He's kind of coming up through the ranks. I think he's open to further progress as well. So Thunder Moon and Mossadegh would be the 2 that I'd be looking at. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Mossadegh as well. I've also got a wee thing about Highland Avenue. Obviously was second to Mossadegh at Sandown, but was Mossadegh getting £3, is that right? Yeah. They're now off level. Highland Avenue, I think, could be probably the bigger improver. Really solid form. They've both been really good. It's hard to split, but I think I'm going to go for Highland Avenue here. Yeah, I think Mossadegh and Thunder Moon for me. Brilliant. So we'll look at the other kind of races that are happening in day one. I strongly fancy Cape Gentleman in the 5 o'clock in the Ascot Stakes. Cesarovic winner, went to hurdles. Has only running one flat handicap in soft ground. It might be a bit too firm, might be a bit quick, but I think the horse is class. Rachel Blackmore's on board. This is my highlight of day one. I think Cape Gentleman in the 5 o'clock. What's your best bets of day one? Yeah, mark of 100 for Cape Gentleman is fairly reasonable. If he translates hurdle form into flat, he does have an outstanding chance. I think Just Hubert's got a big chance in that race in the 5 o'clock at 9-1. 1 2 4 at Goodwood in a kind of similar staying contest. The mules are going quite well at the moment, so I think 9-1. William Bucher, Daniel Tudhope's now on board, but I think he's got a decent chance. I think the opening day is quite tricky though, so more or less a watching brief. Yeah, I think that as well. I just think Cape Gentleman's the one that sticks out to me. Day 2, we will go for the 420, which is the Prince of Wales Stakes. We have the return of Love, and it could be a duel between Love and Lord North. How much we're looking forward to this, and what's your thoughts on it? Good race. Nice to see Love back. She did look a potential superstar last year. A demolition job in the Oaks. It was almost shortened by snowfall this year for the same yard. Lord North is very good as well. Broke a blood vessel in this in March, weirdly enough, but he was devastating at Royal Ascot last year. But I quite like Armory in this. Okay. I think there's a scope for a mini turn up. I thought he was very good at Chester. The Huxley Stakes on his return. Looks like a better 4-year-old, and I think quicker ground will also suit. So I think the second string of Aidan O'Brien's could be the one here. Yeah, I do actually agree with you. I think Armory's potentially overpriced at 10-3. I'd love to see Love win, pardon the pun. I just think she's an absolute superstar. Again, though, it's prep. Are you concerned we've not seen her up until now? Not really, because I think they're just waiting on the ground to come right for her. I thought they might go to the Curragh instead here because they had Armory, but they've got two classy horses. And I'd expect probably both beat Lord North on the day. But yeah, she's hard to weigh up because I haven't seen her that long, and she's been mainly racing against fillies as well. So this is kind of into the open company and see what she's made of. I think Armory might just have the edge because of race fitness, but it wouldn't be a massive concern if you're a Love backer. Yeah, definitely. We'll move on to, we've got 3 races I want to touch on in day 2. Queen Mary Stakes, we've got a short price favourite in Twilight Green. You've mentioned you're a fan of Wesley Ward's horse. 305 for Queen's Vase, we've got another short price favourite, Wordsworth, for the O'Brien team, and 340 we have Lady Bowthorpe for William Jarvis at 2-1. 3 decent favourites in the first 3 races. What's your thoughts on all 3? Could this be a possible? Could all come in. Yeah, they could all come in. I think Wordsworth he was slightly disappointing when he get beat his odds on by stablemate Sir Lucan, but he has a full brother to Kew Gardens. Kew Gardens was a good St Ledger winner and a very high class horse. And you can see the angle there of Wordsworth maybe just outclassing them and then going on towards maybe having a go at the Ledger, for instance. That's certainly eminently possible. I think 5-2 in him is relatively fair, because I think he'll also love fast ground as well. I think Twilight Gleaming might be a bit of a monster. I mean, there's a bit of depth in the Queen Mary, to be fair. I mean, there are some decent horses in. I like Beautiful Sunshine as well of George Boys in that race. She was very good at Sandown, but the faster ground's a bit of a concern for her. Yet and Nymphadora are also two quite good candidates, and Artos as well. It's another American raider that's probably not without a chance. And both of those American horses will blaze a trail, but one's drawn in 20 and one's drawn in 2, so the pace should be quite even in that respect.
Yeah. What's your other kind of best bets of day 2? I've got one in the 6-10 in the Kensington Palace. I think Dream Loper will reverse the form with lights on. I think she's probably just going to be the better horse in the day. Nothing really else standing out to me in day 2, but what's your thoughts?
Astro King in the Royal Hunt Cup for Sir Michael Stout and Ryan Moore. It's about 10-1, but I think this has been the plan for some time. And it won the Thirsk Hunt Cup against Finest Sound. They're both still rated really similarly. It's just a Michael Stout, 98 rated, 4-year-old, just improving with age, gradually getting done. And yeah, I think this mark is certainly not beyond them. So yeah, Astro King in the Royal Hunt Cup. It's a good chance.
Brilliant. We'll move on to Thursday, day 3. The Gold Cup is the main race, and we see Stradivarius going for history. Is Stradivarius at 10-11 value, or are you looking to oppose him?
I think he probably is now. I think a lot of people just try and constantly oppose him, and he just gets it done. But there's nothing flashy about it, so you don't really expect him to bolt up like an odds-on favourite would. Yeah. He's just a smart horse that finds more when required. His season's totally revolved around this. He looked pretty good in his comeback run, and he's just got too much in hand over these, to be honest. I mean, even Subjectivist is second favourite. Subjectivist is rated 117. Stradivarius is 125. He's still got £8 to find. I think it's hard to see Stradivarius get beat, because he does have a ton of foot over a long staying trip that just ends races just like that.
Yeah, I think he's hard to beat as well. I just think it'd be amazing to see the Gosden team get Stradivarius over the line. A big fancy I've got in day 3, that's probably my fancy of the week, is Moyafeth in the Hampton Court. I think he's probably been one of the eye catchers for me this season. 2 really impressive wins at Newmarket. 11-8 in that race. I think he's probably the best horse in that race. I think he's going to win that.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been bapped out for it ever since the ground kind of. Because it was just a little bit dead at Epsom. It wasn't soft, but it just wouldn't suit the horse in William Haggis's opinion. So yeah, it's a sensible move. I think he's very highly regarded, and this is it's an easier assignment than the Derby as well. So he should take a lot of beating in that race.
Yeah, I think so as well. Anything other catching your eye in day 3? They've obviously got the Norfolk Stakes, Ribblesdale. There's a lot of good racing in day 3, but is there anything kind of catching your eye?
Lucci again for Wesley Ward.
Okay.
In the Norfolk. He's an absolute speedball as well. He's an absolute brilliant, lovely striking black horse. He is an absolute picture in the paddock. You can see money coming in for him just as soon as they see him, really. His work hasn't been as good as the fillies, apparently, but I think he's good enough to take this out. I don't really see much in terms of opposition here in this race anyway. Cadamost over in O'Brien is probably the main danger in the race, but I don't think the British have a lot in this. Yeah,
I think this could be Wesley Ward's race. Lucci or Nagatomi. Nagatomi looked really good. I actually watched Nagatomi's race on our replay before we come on here. One of my fancies as well. Ribblesdale, fillies. Noonstar obviously leads the market. Is there any is Ijada as well? Dubai Fountains there. What do you think of that race? It could be a really open race, actually.
Yeah, I think Ijada's probably the most exciting of them to come in, because she's been laid out for and Roger Varian had 2 decent fillies in the Oaks that didn't quite fire, in Ziada and Tiona, and I think this was the third that he was just keeping back for the Ribblesdale Noon Star's coming back from a bit of a setback. That would worry me slightly. And the Oaks third, Divinely, I thought was round to get placed in the Oaks, and came from a really unpromising position. If you look where the winner was to where she was, she had to go basically the middle of the track. Well, Snowfall had the rail to hack up, and I think she can get a lot closer. And Ian O'Brien normally has won for the Ribblesdale. It goes at least really close, and
yeah,
I think Divinely might have a day in the sun here after being a pretty good third at Epsom.
Brilliant. We'll move on to day 4 with a couple of big races. The Commonwealth Cup. Swayza leads the market 9-2, Campanelle 5-1, Dragon Symbol and Supremacy 7s, and Diligent Harry 11s 12-1 bar. Battleground at 12-1. I think it probably won't go here, will it?
Who? Battleground. He's St James's today.
St James's today. I can't make head or tail of this race. I'm probably going to say Dragon Symbol, but that's a really open race.
It's open. I quite like Dragon Symbol. I must admit, I think he's got. I think he'll turn around the form as well. He was just chinned in the line. He was very unlucky when he beaten by Rohan, but that was slop. Haydock slop, and at least he proved he handled it, but it wasn't that suitable. Archie Watson's sprinters are very good. He's a dab hand with them. And yeah, I think he's got a decent each way chance. It is shortening 7-8-1 now. There might be rain come Friday as well, so it might be softer. So that's just something else to bear in mind. I quite like Miss Amulet at a price if it stays rattling quick. Given the 2-year-old form, it's just not going to plan this season. At the Curragh, it's forgivable because it was really bad ground, and it was a Guineas trip. Didn't sort out particularly. She's all speed. She was third in the juvenile fillies turf behind Mother Earth and beat Campanelli that day in America at Keeneland. So I think she's chronically underestimating the market actually on her 2-year-old form. As long as the rain stays away, I think she's pretty interesting at a price.
Yeah, Coronation Stakes as well. We've got that. Primo Bacchio 4-1 for it. Andrea Zeni's been booked on. Mother Earth 9-2. Pretty Gorgeous 11-2. Alcohol Free 7-1, 9-1 bar. What's your fancy for that? Could be a good race as well.
Big fan of Primo Bacchio.
Okay.
Her win at York was very impressive. Beating Snow Lantern, beating Creative Flair. Creative Flair came out this week and won a listed race really easily. I think she's a serious talent, and if the rain stays away, I'd expect her to win. If she was trained by John Gosling or Ian O'Brien, she'd be 2-1.
Yeah, comfortably. Yeah, I probably agree with you as well. I think Potapova for Michael Stout could be another alternative at 9-1. Impressive performance at Red Car a couple of weeks ago. But again, it's another interesting race. These are so open. A lot of these races are going to be like lotteries, I think.
No, yeah. I mean, Friendly was in the Guineas. Is now rated 102 and 50-1 in this for Ian O'Brien. So
yeah,
particularly fillies, and they're always improving all the time, and some of them don't run the race for whatever reason. It is very hard to predict, but the more and more you see it, the more and more you learn from it. So it's a race where you wouldn't really rule out much, but Primo Bacchio at the moment, I think holds all the aces.
Yeah. The 305 in Friday, we see the King Edward VII Stakes, and we have a short price favourite who I think could be special. Salamarak won a very good handicap at Leopardstown a few weeks ago. What do you think of that race? Do you like Salamarak?
Yeah, I think he might be going to the King George or the handicap race instead. So that'd be interesting. That'll open the door for likes of Alan Keir and Yibber, and maybe Gear Up might end up here as well.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting group too. The King Edward's normally for horses that don't quite make the grade in the Derby, but I mean, I think the Hampton Court's becoming more appealing for that because the Derby normally suits. It's normally your non-stayers from the Derby that show up here, and the 1 mile 2 of that race rather than the 1.5 miles here. So I think one ruler's going for the Hampton Court as well. So I mean, yeah, I think it's an open race. It could be a lot stronger, but you've got like a Title, who's a completely unexposed potential improver for Roger Varian in this race as well. So yeah, there's lots of angles to consider. also wait for the final declarations, because towards the end of Royal Ascot, there is various options for some horses to go to.
Yeah. Any other bets on Friday in the likes of the Albany, Sandringham Stakes, Duke Edinburgh, and catching your eye in those races?
A lot of decent judges have spotted the 5 o'clock Sandringham handicap. There could be a royal plot and companionship for William Haggis and Holly Doyle.
Okay.
It needs 5 to drop out, but that seems imminently possible. 25 to 1. A run at Newbury last time was just bad. You can wipe that out. But William Haggis doesn't really normally throw in young, inexperienced horses into a listed race, and the winner was Ashada, who's well fancied this week, to be fair, in the Ribble Stale. And Twisted Realities, a highly regarded horse. One Journey, C Empress was in that. And the fact that he just threw him in there over a trip that was a bit too long in a mile 2, I think dropping back to a mile and off 80, I think might be absolutely chucked in here. A couple of people have cottoned onto it as well. So I think there was about 33 to 1 early in the week, but now you're lucky to get 25s. But I'd put some on now, but I would wait as well to see if it gets a run.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be right in the bottom of the weights. Yeah,
that's going to be interesting as well. We'll move on to the final day, Saturday. The big race is the Diamond Jubilee Stakes, 6 furlong. Starman leads the market 5 to 2. Dream of Dreams 7 to 2. Naha 6 to 1, 11 to 1 bar. What's your thoughts on the Diamond Jubilee?
Yeah, I think this is a bit weak. I think this is one of the weaker races recently, the Diamond Jubilee. For instance, I was hoping that Extravagant Kid would come here instead of the King's Stand, because I think it would absolutely hack up in this. Dream of Dreams probably sets just about the standard, given his effort last year and on Champions Day as well. I mean, he deserves a lot of respect. He's very consistent. But he is 7 now. Starman's an up-and-comer and looked very good at York, but his Ascot form and his rating of 116, it shouldn't really justify 5 to 2, 11 to 4 for him. I think Nahar actually has a decent chance of turning the form around there.
Yeah, I'm going to go for
he got a really bad wide trip. A bad wide trip, and I don't understand why he's twice the price.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Nahar as well. I just think it's Starman does look the improver, but Nahar could probably be the kind of best value bet of this race. Just before that, we've got the Hardwick Stakes as well. The Al-Hazi 10 to 3, Broome 7 to 2, Hookham 9 to 2, 7 to 1 bar. Do we expect the likes of Al-Hazi and Broome to turn up after just kind of 2 weeks ago having to go for tough races?
Yeah, I think Broome will. I don't think Al-Hazi will. Pile Driver could have went here as well. I think the fact Al-Hazi's 8 to 1 suggests that he's certainly not, because he'd be favourite, wouldn't he? If he was running. But no, I mean, the Haggis team will still get Illarab in there, who might run quite well if he takes his chance at 8 to 1. And I think Hookham has a good chance as well, backing firm ground if the rain stays away. Even Japan might turn up here. Highest ground, Sir Michael Stouts certainly seems to turn up here. He seems to have got a bit of a confidence booster in his latest win. He seems to be back in his game again. And Sir Michael Stouts a very good record with this. Crystal Ocean, for instance, smart horses that tend to contest this. Poet's Word as well. So it's a type of race that he likes to do well in. Yeah.
Any other bets for Saturday?
For Saturday, not at the moment. In the Chesham, though, I think Point Lonsdale of Ian O'Brien's is really good, and I also think New Science of the Godolphin team in that race are also very good. So I think that could be a bit of a blockbuster clash there to start off Saturday, which would be good.
Yeah, definitely. You're the flat man. I obviously prefer the jumps, and I think it's been shown in this episode. But give us a lucky 15, 4 horses to follow for Royal Ascot.
I'd stick a lot of them with Wesley Ward. Right. But I would go Lucci in the Norfolk Stakes, Twilight Gleaming in the Queen Mary, Miss Amulet in the Commonwealth Cup, and Companionship in the Sandringham Handicap.
Yeah, and if you want to add that to a lucky 31, Moya Faith in the Hampton Court on Thursday, I think is my best fancy of the week. Anything else to watch out for in the next couple of weeks? So yeah, Anything kind of catching your eye?
No, I just sit back and enjoy the week. You know, it's great to see that there'll be a crowd as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that much, but it's still better than something. So yeah, it's just top class racing, and you certainly don't need to have a bet every single race, because it does look, some of the fields look pretty tough, particularly in the 2-year-old races and the fillies as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a brilliant week. Thanks very much to everyone who's tuned into this show. We will be back with another show in the next few weeks to review Royal Ascot and preview other races. Calum, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on the show as always.
Yeah, pleasure as always.
Pleasure. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Please subscribe to us on social media and follow us on our pages for more news concerning Royal Ascot. Thanks very much, everyone. Cheers.